Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engine. I've been away, or not making videos the last few days because I've been kind of sick. Yes, I think I'm sick. I don't know, I have an inner ear problem that's been kind of chronic but usually like not an issue, and this last week it decided to like ruin like my entire week, so I haven't been able to do very much, but I'm getting better for the most part, and now I'm going to do a video because I can. Hey, a red dwarf. I like red dwarfs. They make up a large portion of the galaxy. In fact, a majority, I think. I think it's like somewhere like 70 or 80% of the stars in the Milky Way are red dwarfs, or around that spectrum. I don't know. Also, I didn't check the comments last video to see where people want me to go. So sorry, I don't have anywhere to go this episode. However, I will next episode do that. I'll check last videos and this video's recommendations, and I'll go to those places. So sorry if anyone who made a recommendation, but I will get to it next episode. Anything here of interest that I can look at? Ooh, that looks pretty. And so much of space exploration is, that looks pretty, I want to go near it. Or something. Ah. But it hasn't been all bad of a week. I haven't been able to do very much, but some stuff's happened. My laser showed up for go away for my mass spectro or not my mass spectrometer, interferometer. There we go. It's just a 5 milliwatt green laser handheld, but it'll work for now. I was actually looking at some other lasers that are like plugins, because here in Canada you can't buy a handheld laser over 5 milliwatts. They're banned because over that, and you can like permanently blind people and cause damage. But you can buy plug-in lasers of high power, but they have to be plug-ins. And I was looking at one that's 200 milliwatts, and it would be like perfect for my interferometer. But it's also like $300, so I'm not going to do that right now. And maybe in the future. Because again, like the 5 milliwatt laser I have will work, and it'll work enough to do demonstrations, and it'll be cool. But if I want, like later on, I'll eventually get a higher power, more lab grade one. I'll basically just keep working on my interferometer until it gets better and better and more professional. Oh, this little asteroid. Pew. Can I slow this down? Oh, that speeds it up. That's good. Oh, okay. Well, let's get close to it. No, I screwed up. But I know where it is. We can get there. Let's zip forward. I want to look at this little moon. I want to look at the little moon. There we go. Also, I had a bit of a funding boost this month, so I can actually get some major parts for my pressure suit and whatnot, so that's exciting. The most important parts I need to get now are, I've decided to, like, I was custom making like the internal membrane part, and I basically got some of this canvas material, and I sewed it, and I made a pattern, and I was cutting it out and sewing it, and I was gonna like rubberize it, but that was just a big pain in the ass, and after putting some parts of it together, it's really shitty. So I figured, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna scrap that idea. I'm only out $30 in that case, anyways. But I'm gonna get some actual like legit material to use for it, and I'm also just gonna buy a pattern, a sewing pattern, because they're like $5, so why not? Actually, I spent like a day looking for dry suit patterns, because that's kind of like what I'm looking for. But they're like impossible to find, so I'm gonna have to get a coverall pattern and just modify it a little bit. But the important part is the bulk of it will be a professional pattern, so I don't screw up. And I'm also gonna get, because I finally figured out the design for the outer portion of the suit. It's gonna be functional, and it's also gonna look pretty nice. So I'm gonna get the outer covering for that, which is gonna be a pair of fire retardant coveralls that I'm gonna modify, and it's gonna be like the outer fabric layer, and I have to do a number of modifications, like the zippers and patchwork and stuff, but it'll actually look really nice. Like when I reveal the suit, like, or at least when I reveal the suit when it's mostly done, it'll look pretty good. I'm excited. Anyways, well, let's carry on with the world. Milky Way. It's a globular. It's quite a ways away. 511, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, it's a very common number, 6, 12, 9, globular. Ah, there we go. A white main sequence. That's a pretty hot star. It's like the blue and the white are like the highest, they're the hottest, and the actually the lowest lifespans because they burn the hottest. They don't live as long. Whereas red stars burn cooler or colder relatively, and actually last longer with life. Ooh, that looks pretty. Which might account for why we have so many red dwarfs in our galaxy, because they live longer than the other ones. So, yes. Well, this is just lovely. CO2, O2, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen. Well, that's just lovely. That's actually a fairly decent atmosphere. No, wrong one. I'm looking for info. And it's abiogenic, so it started here. Excellent, excellent. And it is, it's marine unicellular. I guess that would make sense that it would be primitive life, because this planet isn't terribly old, and its star won't last for very long. That's kind of sad. Oh well, so was life. What else is there to talk? Ooh, actually, look at that. You can see some of the color in the lens flares. I like that. Anyways, what's new in the world of space? There was the Mars Close Approach a couple weeks ago. That was cool. I couldn't see it because it was cloudy, but it's actually supposed to be closer next Close Approach, which is 2 years from now, so it isn't all bad. Hopefully I have a better telescope by then. Probably not. All my money goes towards like very specific things. My program and my bills. So I can't really just buy toys or equipment, which is if I have to make most of my own. But it's the fun of life. Supergiant. Nope. Ah, my eye. There was something in my eye. Like dust or something. Yeah, whatever. 8. Orange hypergiant. Sounds like fun, but no. Actually, what's that over there? Diffuse. Oh, it's a nebula. Oh, I haven't gone to a nebula in a while. Why not? Excuse me. Oh, look at that. How lovely. You know, it's funny, like in Star Trek, they always show nebulas as being like dense glass or gas clouds. Which most nebulas, if you were like in one, like in the middle of one, it wouldn't actually look like like this. Most nebulas are so big and so diffuse that if you were like floating in the middle of one, you wouldn't really see clouds much. It depends on the nebula, but for most of them, it's like it would look like just open space, and you may notice that some of the stars are a little dimmer than they should be. But other than that, it wouldn't look like a thick, foggy cloud. I guess unless you were in like a stellar nursery where the clouds are really, really compact and are like collapsing to form stars and planets, maybe then. But in a diffuse kind of nebula, you wouldn't like the reason why we see them so clear on Earth is because we're seeing through the full bulk of it. So like if you like go halfway through it, you're through most of the bulk, and actually it would be kind of like that, where it's like it would just be like very diffuse, and it only looks thick once you're looking through large amounts of it. Kind of like in fog. If you're standing in a middle of fog, it looks like you're in a bubble of clear air surrounded by fog, but in actuality, it's just because the more fog you look through, the denser it looks. Fun stuff. What is that? It's an open cluster. Let's go there. Boop. Well, isn't this nice? It is indeed an open cluster. Let's investigate its stars. They seem to be all main sequence. And they're all very bright. Whites and blues. Oh, and a yellow. How lovely. feel like I had a topic I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it was. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. There isn't much here of consequence. I better not have been a spider. Nope, it's just something in my eye. Okay, good. I'm seeing things, but it's just... It's been just one of those weeks. It's been awful. Oh, well, I'm a cornucopia of biological oddities, so... And it's like, none of them are, like, lethal or bad, but they're always just a little odd. Except for the ear thing. That could possibly be in... I need to, like, actually go to my doctor and, go see a specialist about that, because it's really irritating. But I've had it for... decades? I don't know, it's been as long as I can really remember, so... I think it's Meniere's disease, but I'm not a doctor, so I don't know for sure. Just my case history seems to follow that. My left ear, it's awful. Yellow giants. And let's go to near the center galactic bulge. It's quite lovely and bright and near. Alright then, let's look for, oh, shit. Ah, got it back. Unless that's a different one. Well, we're gonna find out. And we have... Oh, it's one of the moons. Warm Oceania with life. Organic unicellular. Well then, let's go there. Oh, that's quite the bright planet. So even on the night side it is... Oh, wait a minute, is this a binary? It's either a binary or it's just reflecting a lot of light off the planet. Let's find out. No, it isn't. Oh, yeah, okay, so that extra slice of light is coming from its parent or host planet. Well, that could be a fun little experience. Let's, shit. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I need to work on that. Alright, go away. Control. Let's land. Right here, kind of in the Twilight area. Oh, this is pretty. And again, so much space exploration it's pretty. I want to go there. Look at this. Either it's just light reflecting off the gas giant. Actually, wait. I can do this manually, or not manually. I can do that. I can make the planet do this for me. Get right up under the water. And let's speed this up. No, not the magnitude. God damn you. There we go. Life's hard. But if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be fun. So now we go into actual daylight. There we go. Holy hell, that's bright. Really? This is what day looks like here? Damn. That's kind of shitty. Can't even see the planet overhead. Granted, it might just be because I've screwed up the magnitudes again. But, who knows? Oh, there we go. Now we're gonna get into sunset. And now we're in night. And then we enter the twilight phase from light reflecting off the planet. That's nifty. I like that. Oh yeah, I was actually going to talk about underwater habitation. I didn't get around to it though. Actually, I was playing Kerbal Space Program, and I made a an underwater base. Here, I'll put up, I have a clip from it, I'll just put that up here. And I was just kind of playing around with the idea, because I was like, I'm going to make something underwater. And it was fun. It's sitting between two of the islands. It's just there. You can't do anything. I found the drills and stuff don't work, but whatever. I was actually thinking about underwater habitation a lot recently, because like we have a number of startups and companies that want to colonize Mars, and I'm all for that. But there aren't really any active ones that want to colonize the ocean. Like I found this one that wants to do underwater colonies, but the site hasn't been updated in like 6 years or something like that, and I don't know if they're still active. So it's like, oh. But like the idea of having underwater communities is not only is it cool, but it could actually be very functional for the here and now. Because like you could start out with like having a small community, maybe a dozen people, where you have like a greenhouse module, and you have living modules around it, and then you have like an infirmary module, which has like an on-staff doctor or a couple of them or whatever, and it's equipped for a number of medical things, and you can have well, just basically stuff like that. And you have outside, you have underwater turbines that just spin in the current to generate power, and you can start with that, and it'd be great because it's it can be self-contained, but it can also have imports from the surface. Colonists who live there don't have to be stuck there forever. If they want, they can leave and go do other things and come back. Like it'd basically be a city. It wouldn't be just like a Mars colony where you go there and you're stuck there and never coming back. It's like no, it'd be like living in a city. You can leave and go on vacation and come back, and it'd be great. And then as time goes on, it can be expanded upon. It can become bigger. A schooling unit can be installed, a larger hospital, and after a couple decades, this little underwater community can become an actual underwater city, like a self-sufficient city, and it'd be really cool. And also, it would also help develop a lot of resources, like using underwater turbines to generate electricity. Like these are they have some of them in I think a couple of European countries are working on them. But it's just like, they're like wind turbines, but they sit in currents, and they just spin continuously, 24/7, in the ocean currents, and they generate power. And like, it's a really great idea, because if you have these cities that run off this, it also would help them develop this technology, or the wave generators that use the up and down motion of the wave to get power. You can do agriculture, like fish farming, kelp farming, algae farming, and that can be used to generate, large amount of food stores that can be exported out of the city to everywhere else. And basically, it would open up an entirely new market for agricultural and food production. So power and food production, those two are very important. And it could also be a good test bed for testing like psychology as well as the technology of off-world colonies. Because believe it or not, we are actually getting to the point in our civilization where we're going to start colonizing off-world. If Elon Musk has his way, we're going to be on Mars in 9 years, and that's going to be fantastic. But even beyond that, we can have colonies floating in the clouds of Venus, which I'm not a huge proponent of, because I find that of a questionable nature. Or floating colonies in space, like O'Neill cylinders and stuff. I like the idea of Titan, the moon Titan, but its gravity is so low that I don't know if a permanent colony could be set up unless some form of gravity compensation is developed. But Titan would be very easy to have a base on. I've mentioned this a lot just because of its atmosphere and its everything. But yeah, so I'm a huge proponent of underwater colonization, and I'd love if I can, at any point in the future, maybe through my program, I don't know, kind of start the idea and see if I can find investors or get somebody, or just like encourage the idea, because it's something that can be done now. It would be far cheaper and safer than an off-world colony, and it would help us develop the abilities to do off-world colonies, while at the same time providing a lot of help for people on Earth, like here and now, like agriculture, power, and even just living space, because there's a lot of space in the ocean that we could totally make habitable. The deep ocean, maybe not, but I'm talking like continental shelf kind of stuff. The first, like in some of my write-ups I've done on the idea, the first underwater community would only be maybe 10 meters under the water, kind of in a coastal shallows. And and even then, you could have like a central spire or a building that's underwater, but then it goes up to the top, and you have like a top dwelling that basically leads to the underwater community. So it makes accessing it very easy. So instead of having to use submarines to go down all the time, you can just take a boat to the surface platform, and then just take a little elevator, boop down to the colony. Or it can be deeper and it can be self-sufficient, or like completely isolated. But even then, you can have like kind of like a space elevator, but for underwater, where it isn't a pressurized tube that goes all the way down. It's just like a tether that connects a surface float to the underwater colony, and it has a pressurized trolley that goes between it, up and down. So basically, you take a boat to the float, you board the elevator, it closes off, and it's basically it'd be very analogous to a bathysphere, where it just sinks straight down along the tether, docks onto the colony, or the city, and then you get off and you can do your thing, and if you want to leave, you can board it and go. So it'd basically be like a ferry that rides a tether up and down from the surface to the subsurface dwelling. So like for deeper cities, that could be an option. But for like the shallow ones, really, you could just have an actual elevator with a pressurized shaft that goes from the surface down to the down, because it's like only like 10 meters, 10, 20 meters kind of thing. So yeah, this is something else I've been working on. All theory, mind you. Actually, oceanographic exploration has been big in my mind recently. It started because I was doing some. I'm writing another paper for Objective Europa, because there's a concept I've been working on actually for the last 2 years, involving like underwater exploration of Europa's oceans. And so I figured, I'll just send it to them, because I already have a paper published with them. So I figured I'd publish another one with them, because they care, because it's Europa. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of that recently. Yeah, I want to colonize the ocean. I want to explore space. I want to help humanity in some way. Anyways, that's 22 minutes. I should probably end it here, and I should probably go outside and tend to my plants, because I actually do grow plants and have a bit of a garden, because real men can grow plants. Yeah, I have a potato bed. It's fantastic. They're growing like really well. Anyways, I'll talk to you all later. I'll come back with more Space Engine. I'll probably do another live action thing regarding my interferometer once I get it set up, and do some demonstrations with that. And I also have a little project that's related to what I was talking about underwater habitation. It's in my fish tank, actually, which I might do a little bit of a video on that too, because it's kind of nifty. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and space